Unique 2 Auto Detailing, serving Middle Georgia for 30 years. Looking for a Christian-owned and operated place to take your vehicle for detailing? Unique 2 Auto Detailing is the place for you. Full detailing, wet sanding, wash and wax, buffing, auto sale, auto paint and body. Bring your vehicle today at 859 MLK Boulevard in Macon. Unique 2 Auto Detailing with a professional and friendly staff. Call today at 478-738-0869. That's 478-738-0869. Unique 2 Auto Detailing, the place you leave with a glorious smile.
What's it feel like when I protect my motorcycle with a local Progressive agent? Like living life on the edge, riding full throttle through the mountains, warm air slapping my face and my face saying thank you. Thank you, Progressive agent, for protecting this chopper and letting this man beat to the rhythm of his own gasoline-fueled bass drum.
Feel what it's like to be protected by Progressive. Call Lee Insurance and Notary at 478-254-9858. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
In 2019, my family and friends were living life, loving every minute of it and making plans for more. And then COVID-19 came along and put all our lives on pause. But now safe vaccines are here. COVID-19 vaccines prevent nearly 100% of hospitalizations and deaths from COVID. And when my doctor says the vaccines are safe, effective, and taken by millions of people like me, that's something I can believe. Now that everyone 12 and older is eligible for a vaccine, here's something I can do. Tell my friends, my family, everybody how they can get their vaccine. Let's take life off pause and press play, because we got weddings to plan, vacations to schedule, graduations to attend, parties to set up, cookouts to go to, movies to see.
Find vaccines near you at vaccines.gov. We can do this. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Middle Georgia artist, your world-renowned music wants to be played on The Glory. 980 AM WDDL. Stop by 1140 Court 100 and drop that incredible music off to us today. Middle Georgia wants to hear you on 980 AM WDDL.
I've always wanted to be an attorney because I truly enjoy helping people. If you get hurt in an accident, please feel free to call me. I'd love the opportunity to try to help you. The Dozier Law Firm, we're here in your time of need.
Middle Georgia, welcome to our Saturday morning power, praise, and prayer lineup. The Greater Elizabethboro Missionary Baptist Church in Macon, where Reverend Derek Dumas is the lead servant, every Saturday at 11 a.m. on 980 AM WDDO, The Glory.
Yeah, come on. Come on. Everybody get on up. Everybody get on up. Now, I know a man that will sing a song, yeah. Yes, he will. Your hands tonight when I say I know a man that will sing a song, yeah. Yes, he will. Clap your hands tonight when I say I know a man that will heal your body, yeah. Yes, he will. Clap your hands tonight when I say I know a man that will heal your body, yeah. Yes, he will. Let me tell y'all something. This man I'm talking about, he'll a sick soul. I don't care if you're man or woman, young or old. This man I'm talking about, he'll make a way. I'm standing right here, right now. Now I'm trying to say, I know a man that will sing a song, yeah. Yes, he will. Clap your hands tonight when I say, I know a man that will sing a song, yeah. Yes, he will. Yeah. I know a man that will heal your body, yeah. Yes, he will. Clap your hands tonight when I say, I know a man listen. This man I'm talking about can heal a sick soul. I don't care if you're man or woman, young or old. This man I'm talking about, he'll make the way. I'm standing right here, right now. Now I'm trying to say, can I tell you who we talking about? Can I tell you?
Connecting the community through gospel. The new 980 AM WDDO, Perry, Macon.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
Welcome to Backpage. Backpage, a new program that speaks to community-felt issues and topics, discussions and solutions through both subjective Christian and spiritual interventions. Backpage is an open forum. And now, Backpage. Backpage with Reverend Gregory Jackson.
Good evening, and it's another day, another evening, another afternoon that the Lord has blessed us to be in place. We welcome you to join us. We're thankful for you. We're thankful ultimately to God. We need to give him the praise because everything we do is possible because of him. So we welcome you to another edition of Backpage on WDDO 980 AM, the Glory here in Macon in Middle Georgia. We welcome you to Backpage. And as I always say, Backpage has a historical beginning back some years ago in Dayton, Ohio on Saturday evening. This evening, we are going to do several things. I promised you last week that we would bring back the actualizer, Reverend Kendall C. Wright, author extraordinaire, management development training extraordinaire, just all around good brother, my brother. And I believe he's here with us now. I'm seeing an image of him. Brother Wright, you out there with me this evening?
I am, and good evening, WDDO 980 AM of Middle Georgia. Kendall Wright actualizer here with you.
Look at you taking my job. say that again one more time, because we're gonna work this tonight. So again, this is you're listening to the Backpage, and go ahead, do it again.
DDO 980 AM.
Oh, we got some kind of feedback going on with that, but
all right. Good evening.
There you go. I don't know if that's your Wi-Fi.
Right, looks like we got a connection issue.
Yeah, it looks like it is. You want to? It's your connection from the thing. You might have to go out and come back in again. Okay. You want to try that real quick?
No, I'm not wired, but I'll try. I mean, I've seen this all day for the workshop. So
your picture's a little blurry too, so it might need a quick reboot. But while you do that, I'm going to talk for a minute while you fix that up. Again, you're listening to Backpage on WDDO 980 The Glory. I want to say hello to all of our normal folks who are listening with us this evening. We welcome you here. We thank God for you. As a matter of fact, speaking of thank God, why don't we do that first? And in thanking God, I asked that all of you be in prayer for my partner here, the eye jock, Reverend Dr. Stephen Summerow. No need to go into details. Just pray for him and lift him up, that the situation that is heavy on his heart will be resolved, and that God will move and do what he needs to do in that situation. Gracious God, our Father, we thank you for this time. God, we thank you for lifting us up. God, we thank you for carrying us. We thank you for loving us, God, despite ourselves sometimes. And God, even in troubled times, in times like these, we know that we can count on you because you are the great I am, and you've never let us fail, never let us go. Thank you, God, for this time. Thank you for your people. Thank you for blessings unnumbered, God. And we'll be so careful to give you all the praise, honor, and glory because it belongs to you anyway. Thank you, God, for hearing our prayers. Bless this show, bless this program, and bless all those who are listening under the sound of our voice this evening. Thank you, God. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, so we're here back again, and again, I ask that you keep Pastor Summerow, Dr. Summerow, in prayer for his situation and things that God will move as only He can, and keep him lifted up as he travels. That's a lot better. I can't even see your head now. As we go through here. So, what I want to do tonight, if you remember from last week's broadcast, we talked with Reverend Wright, Mr. Wright, Kendall Wright, the actualizer. Maybe we just use the actualizer because he is the Reverend Actualizer. So I had to use that. But what we want to do is yesterday, we talked about his book release. And in talking about his book release, we gave some little hints. We gave some little extra tips, knowing that the book was going to be released on the 18th through Amazon, and it was done. As a matter of fact, I bought 5 copies of the book, so I plan on gifting those books to a few close friends. My dear sister, Reverend Randall, she will be getting a copy of it. Pastor Kimball will get a copy. But this book is something that can be used quite well to all of us, and just with the way that Reverend Wright has persevered over the years with what he has done and how he has been able to help people in what he does. So this book is entitled, and I'm gonna let him talk about it a little bit, and then I'm also going to bring back in, because her event is coming up this weekend and she needs all the help that she can get as well. The young lady we brought in last week, Miss Shira Lawrence, with her Teens to Queens, we want to bring that back in as well to see if we as a listening audience can help her as well to get what she needs to do, and prayers for a successful function endeavor this weekend. So this book, as I said, the official launch date was yesterday, May 18th, 2021. And just reading some of the highlights of this book is called Leadership Soul. And it's got a kick to it. It's got a ring to it anyway. Leadership Soul, 21 soulful leadership lessons from Motown hits. And of course, again, it was Kendall C. Wright, the actualizer, that is the author of this book. Some quite a few wonderful insights into how he wrote this book. I've been able to see a few of the excerpts on it. And the way he has been able to take off from some of these Motown hits and put it in perspective so that we can see a light to different things and how to do things in order a little bit different. This book in it, you will, and I'm gonna let him talk in a minute because I can talk about his book. So, yeah, he did a good job with this book. So reading this book will transform how you as a leader, and at some point we all need to be leaders. In the church, we need to be leaders. We have our pastors, our associate pastors, we have our deacons, we have our auxiliaries, we have all these people. Sometimes we're all leaders to some effect in the church. So it will help you after reading Leadership Soul. It'll help you with increased clarity, increased confidence, and we all need increased confidence sometime. I think there's no doubt for that. One of the big things that also will help you with is increased competence, increased awareness, and increased influence. So, and I also challenge, as he comes on here, I'm gonna stop talking, let him talk about it for a little bit, and we're gonna go back and forth, and we're gonna talk about a few other things too. I want to challenge to any of our listeners who are of the Divine Nine, and if you're one, if I say Divine Nine, you know who you are. I want to challenge you to as Reverend Wright gives his things, Kendall gives his talks about his book a little bit. I want to make sure he gives some information about it as well, so you can call in, or he can direct you how to purchase through Amazon. But I'm challenging all of our Divine Nine to at least purchase one copy of this book and share it with someone. Use it for yourself. And if you find that you're liking what you read, or even from the beginning, why don't you just buy 2 of them? Buy 2, commit to buy 2. That's from a challenge for the Divine Nine of all of us. It's about supporting each other, no matter if you're not a Sigma or a Zeta, but that's okay. We want you to all support. I didn't say that, did I? We want you all, we want all your support of all the Divine Nine to use this book and share it with someone who's in a leadership position, or use it for yourself to help yourself have some self-growth as well. So that's to all of those Divine Nine that we know and love so well, those dynamic brothers of Phi Beta Sigma, the sisters of Zeta Phi Beta, those brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha. You have the AKAs, Alpha Kappa Alpha Psi, Omega Psi Phi, the ladies of Delta Sigma Theta and Sigma Gamma Rho, along with all of our other Iota Theta. We need to make sure that we're all inclusive in this to participate and help get this book across, because as one of the captions goes forward, you can't just fake the funk, and neither can you fake leadership. So that has some good meaning to it as well. So I'm gonna shut my mouth for a minute as we go through this, and as Brother Wright comes in and talks about this book, I'm gonna leave you with two little quick thoughts, and we're gonna come back later on and talk about one or both of them blended together. Standing firm in difficult times. You know, we haven't forgotten the mission here. We're trying to make sure we take care of you all. We want to make sure that Reverend Mike too, while you there, if you got your Facebook, share your Facebook out right quick. Hit share on that thing if you on Facebook, and share it out with some of the folks back home.
I am not on Facebook right now.
Shame on you, but that's okay. That's okay. We can do without that. But standing firm in difficult times. We're still in difficult times, as evident by remnants and still the pandemic. We're in difficult times as seen by race relations and where we are with that. We're also standing in difficult times with the state of the world, the state of economy, the state of where we are. So I want you to think about that for a minute. And if you're thinking about standing firm in difficult times, just keep this in the back of your mind. So we're going to come back and talk to it. Just visit with 2 Timothy 3:10 through 15. And follow along with that, I want you to think about these words: I won't complain. So with that said, again, you're listening to Backpage on WDDO 980 The Glory here in Middle Georgia and Macon, Georgia. As usual, request that you call in and share with us. To call in, the callback number is 478. And I want you to talk to Kendall. I want you to talk to him about his book and ask questions about his book. Ask questions about some of the meanings, where it's going, or he can give you some excerpts of his book and encourage you to pick you up a copy of it. It's something nice to add to your library for reading, as well as a good reference point. So 478-250-1444 is the number to call in to Backpage here on The Glory. Again, 478-250-1444. So with that, I yield the mic. Come on, Wonder Mike, show me what you got.
Reverend Jackson, thank you for this opportunity to again have a conversation with this incredible audience. I've been now on your show at least 3 times, and I've been interacting with some of the personalities there at the station and its ownership, and I feel like I'm part of the team now. So
you
thank
actually
you.
Become part of the team.
Thank you so much.
You know what or not, so you need to make some clearances back home and make sure that folks understand.
I am overly, thank you, Dr. Jackson. I am overly excited to announce the launch of Leadership Soul, 21 soulful leadership lessons from Motown's hits. And the reception has been absolutely phenomenal. The book debuted in the top 100 of one of the categories that we're aiming for. And currently, as I checked just before I came on the air with you, the book is currently residing at number 3 on the list, and it is it is number 1 for the new releases in the category. So we're trying to get it all the way up to number 1 in the whole category. And I thank you and your audience for helping us to do that. If you'll just go to Amazon and type in Leadership Soul, or you can type in my name, you'll find the opportunity there to secure your copy, and be sure to get one for someone else, someone that you know would benefit from learning about the true philosophy of leadership and the principles and practices that are the prerequisites of success in this 21st century environment. So the story about the book is really exciting by itself. I had constructed an article for a client, and the article dealt with how to leverage your informal communication network to sculpt the culture that you need in your organization. The article was entitled, I Heard It Through the Grapevine. And
it has
so
a nice ring to it.
it was very, the title was most apropos, to say the least, and it was very well received. And so it got me to thinking, Dr. Jackson. I said, I wonder if there might be, just perchance, there might be other Motown songs that have a connection to the pesky and persistent problems that leaders are confronted with. So I did the research. I came up with a reservoir of about 40 songs that could fit the bill that I was looking for. I cut that down to 21, and that is the essence of the Leadership Soul book. I've been asked in many interviews, I've been asked, why music? Why tie leadership to music? Well, the truth of the matter is that music is an incredible medium for education. I challenge your audience, Jackson. I challenge your audience that if I were to ask them to recite the alphabet, 8 out of 10 of them would end up singing the alphabet. Nine out of 10 of us would end up singing elemental P. So with some of the things that are fundamental in our educational experience were tied to music. If I ask your audience to differentiate between the months that have 30 days and the months that have 31 days, 8 out of 10 of us would sing the song. There is an interesting coalescence between music and education. And so the Motown sound is so popular across generations. And so that was the hook. So what the book does, it tells a little bit of a story about the song or the group that published the song or recorded the song, and then tie it to the challenges associated with leadership.
Interesting.
In that case, we discuss the cost of that particular problem and provide strategies. That's the key point. Not just talking about the problem, but providing strategies on how to resolve that particular challenge. If you look at the table of contents, the table of contents is, I've said this and I believe it's true. You cannot read through that table of contents without tapping your foot. You cannot read through that table of contents without some reflection on the awesome nature of the songs that are used in this book as the metaphors to discuss challenges. We start out, of course, with Baby, I'm for real. Yeah. Starting there with authenticity. What is it that leaders need to do in order to define and grasp and then leverage their authenticity? So that chapter gives you 7 guidelines for unveiling your own authenticity. Just a quick side story, Reverend Jackson, the song, and I do love that song, Baby, I'm for real. In that chapter, there's a pseudo challenge to the reader. And the challenge was, if you were to go to your team meeting tomorrow, whether it's a live meeting or whether it's on Zoom, and you grab the microphone and you declare for your team, before your team, Baby, I'm for real. What do you think might happen? Now, they might be shocked, of course, by that expression, But beyond the shock, the real question is, to what degree do they experience you as an authentic leader?
That's a good point.
To what degree do they experience you as an authentic leader? To reference the song as it is the foundation of the teaching point there, this song, Baby I'm For Real, was recorded by a group called the Originals.
You're going back a little way.
The Originals were primarily a backup band. They had some success, but not the success that they knew that they were capable of achieving. And so, with the encouragement of a few people along the way, they stepped out on their own, wrote this song, performed this song, and it became a #1 hit. Now, don't miss this. A group called the Originals had to stop doing what everybody else was doing in order for them to step into a higher expression of their talent and competence and capability.
Interesting. So that's actually saying a lot to it's saying a lot to others as well about positions and where we should be in.
To say
and
the least.
I think going along with what you said too, I look at this and I have to comment. The first thing I need to comment on is what you said about the songs, and this is a good way to draw people into what they need to hear. Baby, I'm For Real. First thing I want to do, because I know the songs, I know both versions of the song, and so the first thing I do is I sit there and put a little look on my face and start thinking back to how each version of it was done. And you're right. Then you tap your foot a little bit while you try to remember the melody and the words and how they were pushed out. And then when you do that, you might find yourself even trying to sing the song. So what that's doing, that's stirring up a little bit of a cognitive explosion within itself.
Okay.
Because you're recalling that song and that tune. And like you also said, that some people will wonder when you walk up to someone and say that, even just like I'm sure, I hope you address the other one later on, what's going on. So when you hear that, Baby, I'm For Real, you're thinking, okay, so what's going on? Why did I say that? I just answered that myself. You want to know what is he talking about? What is she talking about? Where is this going right now? What are they trying to portray to me? What is this? What is this leader, this manager, this supervisor, this preacher, this teacher? What are they trying to say by announcing that I'm for real? So that leaves some, like I said, I like to call it a cognitive explosion. That's a good way to look at what you're causing. And my impression from what you're doing with this book is causing cognitive explosions, as well as what I want to say. I'm gonna give another term too, since I'm talking cosmic. I want to say it's a black hole meltdown. Because what you're doing with what you're putting here is you're causing people to actually think.
Oh, no doubt.
You're causing them to think within their own minds first before going outside elsewhere to seek actions, opinions, thoughts, and maybe what they should do. But you're causing that internal explosion, that black hole meltdown. So go ahead. Keep going.
I like that. I like that cognitive explosion piece.
Don't you use my word.
It will actually encourage you to think differently and facilitate that process for you as you go through the various aspects of the book. People, Jackson, they will often ask me, well, how do you become more authentic? Well, the first step, and these are outlined in the book in great detail, is to get confident in your own identity. You can't be authentic pretending to be somebody else. You can't be authentic mimicking somebody else. When I first started my career as a professional speaker, I was a member of the National Speakers Association, and I'm hobnobbing with all of these world-class speakers, folks that most of us would know, people like Les Brown or Willie Jolly or Nito Cobain, etc.
Right.
And I guess subliminally, I had made a commitment that I'm going to be the next Les Brown. Well, guess what? The world doesn't need a next Les Brown. They need now Kendall Wright. And that's true for the members of your audience, that whether we're talking about aspects of the secular world around leading there, or whether we're talking about in the church, where we look at some of these prominent pastors and bishops and apostles, and you see these preachers trying to preach like them. Well, if that was not the gift that God gave you, if that's not your most comfortable and natural way of communicating, then your message is going to be inhibited. So we don't need a next somebody who's already here. We need the already right now you. So the first point is to get comfortable, be confident in your identity. And your confidence cannot be a byproduct of popularity.
Interesting.
No, your confidence cannot be a byproduct of popularity. When we talk leadership, you have to truly learn to put principle over popularity, because many of the things that a leader is responsible for by way of influencing the culture are not popular. Accountability is not popular.
So do you think maybe that too many people are taking leadership or as a universal approach, so to speak?
I think they often look at leadership as a popularity contest.
Yeah.
And if I can get people to like me, then I'm considered to be a good leader. Now, you need to be respectful. Don't get me wrong. And you need not be a narcissist, and you need not be arrogant.
Exactly.
But it is not about popularity. It's literally, leadership is a process of influencing and directing attitudes and actions toward the actualization of the mission, the vision, and the values of the organization. If it were easy, then everybody could do it.
And that's true. That's true.
Second point, you need to firm up your philosophy on failure. In order to be authentic, you need to firm up your personal philosophy on what failure is and what it means to you. Those who are most authentic in the role of leader understand that failure is an event.
Yes,
it is not a personality. It is not an identity. But if you think if I fail once, or if I irritate or agitate someone in my congregation or in my company, then I won't be a good leader. Well, you are already putting yourself in a very restrictive box. If you don't understand that failure is an incident and not an identity, then you won't be willing to push the organization to where it needs to go in order to grow. Reverend Jackson, hear this. If there were no need for, if there would be no need for leaders if there was no need for change. You see, if there wasn't a need for change, we wouldn't need leaders.
And that's right.
So understanding that failure is an incident, it's not an identity. You have to come to terms with failure as a part of the developmental process for yourself, as well as for those within your sphere of influence, if you're going to step into being a more authentic leader. The last point I'll share in that section of Reverend Jackson is that you need to know what your intentions are as far as why you are leading, and you need to help the people that are reporting to you know what your intentions are. That way they can help you stay on course. They can help you meet the objective. They can give you feedback on how you're on target or off target based on the intentions of your plan and of your action. So those are just a few of the points in chapter 1 dealing with authenticity.
And that's enough right there to draw you in, because I'm hearing what you're saying, and in having been in corporate world and military world and around the world and all things, you see these different characteristics of leaders. And a lot of times with these two, and you know this more than I do, there's so many failures in leadership because of wrong methodology, I guess you can say.
Wrong what?
Methodology, I guess you
Oh,
can say.
yeah, okay.
Being a leader. And like you covered, you said we have these leaders, or we might want to even say pseudo leaders, who just got it all wrong. They have the ones who are arrogant, who have to go around and announce to everybody that they are a leader. And that can be really annoying within itself. If you are an effective leader, as I believe your books, your writings, your writ will help people, you don't have to go around bragging about what kind of leader you are, because it'll show itself. So those, and something I hope your book will help a lot. Cause I'm gonna help you push this book through Middle Georgia as well, because I want this book to be out. Because again, the excerpts I've seen, I've been privileged to see some of the excerpts. So what I've seen, it can't do nothing but help development, as well as help encourage leaders, managers, supervisors, those who are in charge of people, pastors, associate pastors, deacons, the whole gamut of people. It can't help but to encourage you to want to do better. And if you're doing better, if you have the right kind of training, the right kind of guides, the right kind of references to helping you to be a better leader, you can't help but to empower your employees, your workers. And when that's done, you have a win-win situation, because I'm a firm believer, if your workers are happy, if those that you lead are happy, they're going to do even more to improve what their part of the job is, what their scope of performance is within an organization, be it a church, be it a business, be it whatever, be it a military institution. You're going to do better within yourself when you have good guides and you're able to truly lead your people. And why not have fun by doing it too? Especially if you, I can probably clearly say there are a lot of people out there who are listening to this, and there's a lot of people who will read your book. That and good evening, Sister Brian. I see you up there. Good evening to you. Thank you for joining in with us. A lot of people will tend to take that and run with it, and it'll make them a better person when you have that good leadership. And we all need a guidebook. We have our ultimate guidebook, which is the Bible, and we should be using that as our daily guide. But sometimes the good Lord instills in us authors like yourself, who are able and capable not just writing, but being able to teach and share with other people, so that they too can pick up and do better for themselves. So again, when a leader does better, the group that he leads do better also.
That's the beginning of the keynote, actually, Dr. Jackson. The keynote begins by asking the question: if you and your colleagues were better leaders, what else would get better?
Imagine that.
And it sounds like a rhetorical question, but it really isn't, because we know that as the leadership competence increases and elevates, so too will we see an increase in elevation around the bottom line. Issues around efficiency, effectiveness, and profitability increase as the leadership competence increases. You've heard me say this before, Reverend Jackson, and that is, as the ocean tide is to the ship, so too is leadership competence to the organization.
Wow, and that's a true statement too, and put that in perspective. Put that in perspective with the
organizations will rarely outperform the competence of its leadership team. Very rarely. So the competence of the leadership team actually sets the ceiling for the team, or for the department, or for the organization, for the church, for that matter. So in order for us to actualize the fullest potential of the human capital associated in this relationship we call leadership, leaders have to continue to grow. Leaders have to continue to grow and push yourself. As I said, leadership is about pushing the organization past the horizon, beyond what we can see right now. Managers maintain. Managers try to maintain the status quo. Leaders aren't comfortable with the status quo. The leader knows that we can do more than this. We're capable of more than this. And they create an environment that is firstly predicated on respect. Now, you have two options when it comes to choosing to be a leader. Reverend Jackson, you can lead by inspiration or you can lead by intimidation.
And we know what intimidation does. It causes a lot of resentment, first of all.
No doubt. Now, it's effective. Intimidation is effective in the short term. But people will come to a realization that I'm sick of being intimidated. I'm tired of this and I'm not going to take it anymore. And guess what happens when they come to that realization? Protest.
That's right. And protest, even in its most pure, simple form, is very disruptive. It's disruptive. The whole process is disrupted when you have protests going on.
Yeah.
I don't get it, but I think with this book we will be able to get it. So I'm going to pause for the cause, and since you on the air, we need to do another station identification break. So we want people to call in as well. Talk to the actualizer. So, brother actualizer, can I get a program station break from you?
Yes, indeed. You're listening to WDDO 980 AM, the glory of Middle Georgia.
There you have it from the actualizer himself. So, again, we're here on Backpage. I'd like for you to call in if you got some questions about this book. I want him to. I want Reverend Wright to go ahead again and say too how to get this book using Amazon. Like I said, I bought 5 copies of it.
God bless you, bro.
I'm gonna give some people. I have several friends that I really want to read this book and use it for what it is. I have one friend that just sent me a text. This is actually a friend from back home from who's actually one of the Ohio State Zetas from the wonderful Xi Gamma chapter. I want to encourage her to have one of these books as well as some, a lot of the frat who are listening in down here need to get this book because they're in leadership positions. Oh, looky here. We got a caller already for the actualizer. Okay, let's see here. Oh, they dropped off. That's dropped off. Whoever you were calling in, please give us a call back. Again, you listen to Backpage on WDDO 980 AM The Glory with me, your host, Reverend Gregory Jackson, as well as, again, Reverend Dr. Stephen Summerow, who is out with a situation. Again, I've asked you all to pray for him, pray for the situation, and lift him up as well. So, again, you got the actualizer here, and we're talking about his book here, his new book that was just released yesterday on the 18th on Amazon. And I really want everyone to get a copy of this book, Leadership Soul, 21 Soulful Leadership Lessons from Motown Hits. Again, whoever you were just called in, please call back in again. The actualizer wants to talk to you. He wants to talk about his book.
Yeah.
The person I was talking about, if you don't call in, I'm gonna call you out on the radio live and put your name out there. So it would behoove you to call 478-250-1444. Another one of those Ohio State University people here in the area. So,
Dr. Jackson, can I talk about another chapter?
Go ahead, help yourself. I want this to be out there. Oh, before you do though, put it out there again. I want you to tell them how to get this book.
Yeah, if you just go to Amazon and you can type in the title of the book, Leadership Soul, 21 Soulful Leadership Lessons from Motown's Hits. And that will take you to the page where you can then click and order one for yourself and one for those that you know who would benefit from having their horizon expanded in regard to leadership competence. Or you can type in my name, Kendall C. Wright, and it will also take you to that page. And we thank you in advance for your support and your advocacy. I'm just overwhelmed by the response to the work that went into this book. People are commenting on the table of contents, of course, but also the cover of the book, which is very, very creative as far as communicating what the book is really all about. Yeah. So thank you for your support. And again, if you know someone who is in a leadership position and would benefit from a conversation, the book is very conversational around how to become more effective, how to become more confident, how to enhance your competence, as well as gain clarity around what it means to be a leader. This book is for you.
That's
You'll
right.
love it.
And you know, that's what I did too. And I tried different ways of getting the book, so I could experiment with it, so I could share with other friends too, as to how to get the book. But I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna let you go ahead and talk about the other chapter, but I'm gonna do something because I love my audience and I love what you're doing. And for those of you listeners who are out there, you've heard the Actualizer several times before. He's joining us from the greater Cincinnati, Ohio area. He's actually on with us from his home office in Westchester, Ohio, which is a suburb of Cincinnati. I'm gonna still say it's a little bit longer distance suburb of the Forest Park, and it's ultimately because of where he is and where he's from. It's a suburb of the Midi. That means Middletown, Ohio. So again, I'm asking you all to call in and talk to the Actualizer about his book. He's going to talk about another chapter in the book. Okay, so that's a good thing. I guess we got somebody coming in the door. So talking about the book, I'm going to ask you a question about the book. But before I do that, I'm gonna throw something out for the listeners. We're going to do this. So with that, I'm going to give a book away. How about that? I'm gonna give a book. I'm gonna give a book away. I'm gonna give one of these books away.
Thank you.
So, again, we with this right here, we have Leadership Soul, 21 soulful leadership lessons from Motown hits with Kendall C. Wright, the Actualizer. So what I want to do, I'm not going to tell you which one it is. I'm gonna make you call me tonight. So I want you to call. And the first person that calls me on, let me take a pause for the calls right quick. We got about 20 minutes left. I'll take a pause for the calls in just about 2 seconds. I think I'm almost ready to do another little announcement here. So if I get a ready. Okay, so you heard me mention earlier too, Brother Wright. You know this is your soror on here too. She has made it in to join with us. Miss Sheila Lawrence is here with us.
All right.
Comes on the screen too. She again is a member of the greatest sorority in the world, beyond any shadow of a doubt, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. Miss Sheila Lawrence, she is the one who I mentioned earlier, who is doing this wonderful program and development thing for our youth, for our teen girls, teens to queens. So I'm going to let her talk about that in just a little bit too, because I want you to support her. Her event is coming up this weekend, and she needs some more support. So I want you guys to support her too for what she's doing. So I'm going to give her some time. I'm going to let Reverend Wright talk for a few more minutes about this chapter, and then we're going to bring Miss Lawrence in so she can talk about teens to queens, because it's something that's really needed here in not just in Middle Georgia. It's needed all over the place. It's needed here in Georgia. And my prayer is that her program just grows and grows and grows and becomes a international event, an international thing. So what I want to do real quick, and let you talk about your book a little bit more. I'm going to give away a book. I'm not going to tell you which caller. I'm going to show I'm going to hold my hand up to Miss Sheila here, and Right, I'm trying to remember what number you were. You were
number 5.
That's right. How can I forget that?
Quad.
So we got a 5 and we got a quad. So we got 2 5s and a quad. So what I want to do, let's do this. Let's make it the because we're both 5s and we're overbearing. That's overpowering since we got 2 5s. Why don't we make it the 4th? Whoever is the 4th caller calling in, I'm going to give you a book. I'm going to take your information. I'm going to send you a book, one of Reverend Wright's books, Leadership Soul. 21 hits from
Motown.
So 21 soulful leadership lessons from Motown hits. So whoever the fourth caller is at we got a listener already on Amazon purchasing right now. That person in Cincinnati, Ohio, they asked me not to call it from Cincinnati, Ohio, asked me not to call their name out. But they're online purchasing your book right now. So
God bless them.
That's another one of your sorors doing that.
I appreciate it.
So doing that right now. But whoever is my fourth caller at 478-250-1444 will have the opportunity to be gifted, be blessed with one of these dynamic books from Reverend Kendall Wright. So talk about your book for a few more minutes. I want the fourth caller. So whoever it is, please give a call. If you want the book, you got to call in and get it. So, oh my goodness, we have Sister Brian ordered 2 books from you. So that's 3 books for the last few minutes. Thank you, Sister Brian. I'm sure you will enjoy that book and the reading within it. So, Reverend Wright, talk for a few minutes, and then I'm gonna give it back to Miss Shira Lawrence so she can tell us about Teens to Queens, and then we'll end up wrapping up the show for this evening. But this book is worth the effort. It's worth the time. Whoever's my fourth caller at 478-250-1444 will get the book, Leadership Soul. Take it away, right?
All right. So the next chapter, remember the first chapter dealt with authenticity. The second chapter focuses on understanding the difference between being a leader and being a boss. The subtitle for that chapter is 7 Cognitive Variances of the Boss versus Leader Archetype. And what this chapter does, it breaks down the difference between being a leader and being a boss. And I don't know about you, but I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated with the culture celebrating being a boss. Those of us who are spiritual, we know that words are containers of spirit. Yeah. Words are containers of spirit. The word boss has a very nefarious history. The term boss is not the original term. The original term comes from Dutch. And the Dutch word was baas. And baas was a person who had the authority to beat you into submission if you did not comply with their request. And so I don't think I want to be a boss. I don't think you want to be a boss. Instead, we want to be leaders. The song that brings that to the forefront is a song by Diana Ross, and some of you may have already anticipated. The song is The Boss.
Oh,
yeah,
boss.
The Boss. And so very quickly, what this chapter does, it really speaks to the importance of the right mindset, because leaders think differently about those in their direct report, in contrast to how a boss thinks about the people in their direct report. And there's 7 key ways. Very quickly, the first is rank. How does the person rank in the hierarchy? The leader values the person independent of rank. The boss will value you based on your rank. The second is the role that the person plays, or the function that they play in the organization. Contingent upon whether that function is seen as being prestigious or not, the boss will interact with you according to her or his perspective. The leader, again, values the whole person. Just another one is the motivation. What is the driving force behind the employee's decisions? Bosses impute a different motivation than what leaders do. Bosses always assume that the employees are trying to get over, that the employees don't want to make an honest contribution to the organization. They're looking to hoodwink or hijack the organization for their paycheck. The Leader believes that the overwhelming majority of people want to do a good job, and they want to make sure that they meet, if not exceed, the expectations that have been set forth for them. So there's 7 points of distinction. I just gave you a couple of them.
And that's good. That's this book. I have no doubt is going to be a bestseller. I have no doubt it's going to be a bestseller. You said you're number 3 right now.
Yeah, right now. When I last checked, we were at number 3 on the overall category, and we were already tagged and identified as the number 1 new release in the category. So I want to get to number 1 in the whole category, and with the help of your audience, we can make sure that more people know how to lead by treating people with dignity and respect instead of treating them as if they are head count or inventory or overhead.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, let's do this. Again, we're about to bring in Miss Shira Lawrence. You're listening to Back Page on WDDO 980 The Glory AM. And why's my brother trying to call me right now in the middle of the show? Mm-hmm. Listening to Back Page on The Glory 980. And again, we're bringing in my soror, your soror, everybody's soror, and all of you who are listening, all of our listeners, please go ahead, even in these last few minutes, go ahead and share. Hit the share button if you're on Facebook listening. Hit the share button. That's including everyone who's listening. Hit the share button and share even these last few minutes with us. But I want to bring in to you right now. I want to introduce to some and then reacquaint with some of the others who joined us last week. Miss Shira Lawrence, who she's going to tell us a little bit about her event, Teens to Queens. And I want you guys to support her. I want her too to give some information on how to contact her. And be able to support her event this weekend. It's something very worthwhile, and it's an ongoing thing that we do need here in this town, in this state. So without any further ado, to all of our listeners, I give you Miss Zeta Sorority Incorporated, Miss Shira Lawrence, the founder and CEO of Teens to Queens.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much for having me on tonight. I'm elated to be here again. Last week was such a wonderful response, and we are just a few days shy of our kickoff with our 3-day summit. And the response here, I believe now we're at about 86 girls that have registered. So I'm just blown away at the idea that I have to facilitate change amongst that large group of girls.
Go ahead, work it. Tell us, go ahead and tell us about the location, and for all the listeners, she does need a few more sponsors, I guess we can say, to kind of offset what she's doing, because it's very worthwhile what she's doing for our young ladies in this community in Georgia. So I want you to go ahead and say a little bit more about it. Help yourself. You got some time. Go ahead and help yourself, and make sure you tell them how to get in touch with you, how to donate. To her cause, and just support her. It's rare that you find someone willing to take it all and put in and do something like this for our youth. And no doubt our young ladies need this. It goes back to some of the old ways of teaching where it used to be. We need that. Don't you agree, Reverend Wright?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
So the location is at the historical Booker T. Washington Community Center, which was just reopened here in the last month. So excited about that. We are, let's see, as far as funding is concerned, we are trying to pass on as little of cost as possible to the girls. They had a $20 registration fee. 70 of the girls were able to attend because of donations without any out-of-pocket cost. And so we are providing meals for them, 3 meals a day. They're getting shirts and a lot of other take homes with them. So just to make sure that we're able to meet the needs, we are asking that if you have the ability to give, whether it's financially or if you'd like to donate something, we're welcoming that. I did go ahead and list there the way to give electronically. We have a Cash App and PayPal account set up for Teens to Queens. And it's our name, Teens to Queens, spelled out just that way. We can also have check by mail, and I'll post that information there as well. But this empowerment weekend is definitely going to change lives of 86 so far. So,
and we want that to grow even more. I got a little note here too that popped up. Your one of your sorors up in the city sent you last week. She sent you a via Cash App. I don't understand those things. She sent you a donation via Cash App last week.
Yes, thank you so much. I definitely appreciate that. Yes.
So that's what it's about. And, I issued a challenge to all the Divine Nine for Reverend Wright's book, but I'm also issuing that same challenge. You know what it's about to grow up. You know what it's about to grow up in Black youth. You know what it's about to grow up and sometimes need some guidance. And today's times, a lot of our young ladies and our young men don't have the guidance they need, but here's a rare prime opportunity for you to give something back and help someone else, help these young ladies to develop and be all that they can be and do what they should be doing versus being out in the streets and not having good guides and guide. This will help teach them and help evolve them into the young ladies that they should be, that God has intended for them to be as well. So, we're doing this again. You listen to Backpage on WDDO 980 The Glory. I've pushed because I really want to push hard for this, and this will not be the last that you hear of Miss Lawrence, because she's doing good things here for and you can best believe it's all spiritual and God blessed and God ordained. So there's no reason why you shouldn't help support her as well. So we got two good things. We have, and I'm just as proud as a peacock because I got, I got to say it when I can. Yes. I'm surrounded by blue and white. I got my brother back on the phone from back home. Here, that little thing on his bookshelf, but I can't see my eyes drawn to that. I got my soror here. I got other frat and sorors listening in to us. So we have a good program going on. And again, this Backpage is all about community help, doing things to help ourselves and help others in the community. So I'm gonna give you each, Reverend Mike, we down about 3 minutes and 40 seconds. I'm gonna give you a quick minute to say something else. I'm gonna give it back to Miss Shira for a minute to wrap up with hers. I can't express again how important it is to support both of these endeavors here.
Thank you again so much for allowing me to have this conversation with your audience. For those of us who know the true and living God, the Almighty God, I just want to let you know that as I read over this book, I found myself asking, did I write that? Mm-hmm. It really felt as if I were just the conduit for the message that needed to be put out to help us be better stewards and to help others be better stewards. And that is part of the leadership experience. So, Reverend Jackson, thank you.
You're excellent. And now, Miss Shira, you go ahead and wrap it up as I hear the music coming. We got about 3 minutes.
Yes,
so
sir. And I'm right there with him. As I look at all the things going on in my home right now, 100 book bags, 100 shirts, all these products filling my living room, I wonder, how did little old Shira from Barnesville, Georgia, facilitate something of this level of this caliber? So I'm grateful for God every day I wake up and we're able to pay the bills and get things done for these girls. And I want to continue to further that effort. So thank you for giving me a safe space to share.
Well, you have it. You have this chair. You have this media to share as often as you want it. The chair belongs to you.
Thank you.
These chairs belong to, especially my frat and my sorors. But these chairs belong to anyone who can do something to help the community. If you can do something, you have something to offer to help others along the way, then Backpage is the spot for you. So again, I'm peacock proud because what we've done tonight again is give God glory. And at the same time, we're going to always give God glory. But at the same time we give God glory, we're able to promote and encourage others to join in with things that God has ordained. We have this fantastic book. We have this fantastic organization and program. And, you know, in my years, in my time here in Georgia, I've seen the need so much, too, for both, for leadership direction as well as for help for our youth. Our youth need you. Our people need you, right? So that's where we are. And, you know, my prayer is that God will continue to bless. And I'm surprised nobody called in for my book, so I'm just gonna pick somebody and give it to. And I already got a person who I'm gonna give this book to. So they just know they're gonna get a book too. I think they know who I'm talking to already. So that's just the way it is. But we love you. We're grateful for you to be in here. Reverend Mike, throw that hand up in there. Wave your hand like you just don't care. Now you see what your soror was doing. So there you go. So you got to make it plain completely across the way. We got to do what we got to do. We got to promote our blue and white because that's who we are. Zeta Phi Beta Sigma. So, and giving all honor to God because He is our Creator and He's done it all. Take care. We love you. We'll see you next week on Backpage again on WDDO.
Thank you for listening to Backpage with your host, Reverend Gregory Jackson, Associate Minister at Mount Moriah Missionary Baptist Church. Backpage is community talk that examines